And Hannibal, and also Attila the Hun. Did you know that, Ron?
Oh, that's interesting. I did not know that.
And Dr. Mind, as we stated earlier, he was made by Dr. Mindbender and Destro in a hope to overthrow Cobra Commander.
Ah. Well, number 8 is next, correct?
I think so.
And number 8 for me is Nemesis Enforcer. Just his name got him in the top 10. If you've ever seen G.I. Joe, the animated movie, one of the most badass characters ever. Virtually indestructible until, of course, he met Sergeant Slaughter. Spoiler alert, Sergeant Slaughter beat him up.
Yeah, we know Sergeant Slaughter is the most powerful guy in the world. One of the greatest pro wrestlers ever. Mm-hmm. My number 8
is a drill sergeant.
Yes, he is a drill sergeant. Yes. My number 8 was your number 10. Tomax and Saber. I liked them because I thought they had style. Man, to me, that was the biggest thing I remembered of them. And I also combined this with the Crimson Vipers. Mm-hmm. As you mentioned, but I won't go too much into them because you've already gone over them. And it was something I always liked about them and thought was cool that you didn't mention, is the fact that their costumes were just were reversed.
That is correct.
Mirror images of each other. I thought that was really cool.
They did have that twin bond too. One got hurt, the other fell.
Yeah, they knew about it. Yeah, and I always liked the fact that they really didn't really leave each other behind, which is kind of something common with a lot of bad guys, especially Cobra.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, next, what we have, number Terry?
I think it's number 7.
Number 7. Torch from the Dreadnoks. One of my favorites. I've always been a fan of the Dreadnoks. Big fan of Zartan. Just, they look like great guys to hang out with and have fun. You drink a beer, punch a couple people, and just listen to some country music. And it looks like the kind of guys they look like they would be. And I really would like to hang out with Torch.
That's always fun.
I think so.
Well, I hate to disagree with a great thing like that, but my number 7 is actually going to be Destro.
Oh, interesting.
I like Destro. I thought he was cool. He was always kind of against Cobra Commander. Him and Cobra Commander just went back and forth a whole lot. A lot of arguing over the interests of Cobra. A couple fun facts. He was over Mars. They were in the primary weapons design provider for Cobra. He actually supplied him and his ancestors were so bad they would actually supply the weapons to both sides just so they could make more money. But both sides of the faction wanted the weapons so bad that they wouldn't do anything about it. And the mask that he's wearing here, I actually looked up. It was originally put on one of his ancestors as a mark of shame, and they've turned it into a mark of pride. And I always loved, and one of the things I really loved about G.I. Joe in a whole as a show was the cool vehicles.
Oh, they had great vehicles.
And everything. And Cobra had cool ones just like G.I. Joe did. And that was one of the things I always grew up loving. I had a couple of the vehicles. I had a helicopter. I'm not exactly sure what kind it was. Had the 2 little pods I told you disconnected from it. And I had I'm not sure what you call this one, but it was I think it was called a Python. It had the 2 guns at the front and the little back gunner.
I think that was a Python.
I think that's what it was called. Yeah, I never had a Hiss.
That was the tank.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my number 7. I thought Destro was pretty. Oh, and he always seemed to have a little thing on with Baroness.
Yes. Yeah, that to me would rank him higher, I think, just for being with Baroness. My number 6 is Ripper.
Oh, okay.
Ripper. He was the blonde, I think, with the sunglasses and had the big giant can opener. I enjoyed him. Just Dreadnoks. Same thing as the previous one. Look like a bunch of guys you just want to hang out with, have fun, drink a beer, punch a couple people out, just listen to music all night. Fun times. Fun times with those guys.
Pretty awesome. That's a pretty awesome number 6. Like I said, I hope I don't disappoint with Pythona.
Interesting choice.
if you'll notice with mine, I'm a Cobra Law fan. I love the G.I. Joe movie.
Mm-hmm.
Not the live action crap. The actual animated movie that was true to this actual cartoon. Her flipping around like a ninja and everything at the beginning of it, who's those crazy plant things at the beginning. I loved it when I was a kid. Had those claws. I mean, and she actually turns. I think it's her that turns Cobra Commander into a snake, isn't it? Or is that Godulus?
I'm not sure. I can't remember. It's been a long time since I've seen it.
It's been a while since I've seen it too, guys. Feel free to comment.
Yeah.
Correct me. I don't mind. But yeah, love Pythona. She's pretty awesome.
My number 5, midway point, is the most insane member in Cobra. Cobra Commander. Completely insane. He's the kind of guy who would make outrageous claims like, let's go blow up the ocean, and then blame all his troops when it didn't happen. Really insane person. I don't know how he stayed in charge so long, but you gotta love him. So I put him as number 5. Would have been higher. It's just insanity. Just his psychosis put him down to me.
I'm gonna rank him higher for that.
Yeah. I had to put him down a little lower.
I understand. Well, that's fine because I'm sure you'll disagree with this one because my number 5 is Zartan.
See, I would have ranked him higher. Zartan would have been higher for me.
I like Zartan and the Dreadnoks. He's pretty awesome. But the greatest thing, and I hope I'm not stealing anything from you, is the scene that we discussed earlier with Pythona.
From g.i.joe the movie.
From g.i.joe the movie. She's trying to get him to, I think, infiltrate Cobra. Is that not correct?
Yeah,
from memory.
Yeah.
Like I said, again, feel free to correct. And she whips out this giant gem, I'm not sure what it is. And he just looks at her and says, a gem of that size answers all questions.
Yeah, that's a great line. Great character. My number 4 is Storm Shadow. One of the greatest G.I. Joes. Cobra guys. He fought Storm Shadow. Storm Shadow always fought Snake Eyes. Wonderful character. The opposites. He was all in white. Snake Eyes was all in black. Wonderful. The fight would go either way to me, anytime. They're just two great warriors. I really enjoyed Storm Shadow. I would have put him higher, but the next couple I got, I really like a lot more. So he's number 4 for me.
All right. Well, my number 4, I know you're not going to agree with, because I love her. Don't get me wrong, but it's Baroness.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's a definite high-ranking character right there.
She is awesome, guys, to me, because she is just this femme fatale that can seduce a guy and kick his butt in the same scene.
Oh, yeah.
She is awesome. She's not just a one-trick pony. She's good at undercover work. She is, and as you can tell, she's quite attractive. Attractive young lady.
Very attractive.
She's a lot more brave.
And intelligent.
And very highly intelligent. She is an awesome character. I love Baroness, but just my next 3 are just higher. Just have to be higher for me. I think she is, but I think I'm kind of down in her a little bit. But I think she deserves more. But I just like these other characters more. It's just me.
Well, my number 3 actually is the Baroness. One of the greatest characters to me. She had it all in an age when you had cartoons, comic book characters that really didn't have a lot of female role models or strong female characters. She was one. It was a villain that came out and was really strong, intelligent. She just did all. Master of Disguise, and she also had Destro, and she had any guy she wanted. She was just bad all the way around. Tough girl. Gotta love her. The Baroness is number 3 for me.
Yeah, she is awesome. Well, Brian, my number 3 you've already spoke about. Nemesis Enforcer. I'm not going to go real deep into this guy because to me, this guy, he can kick your butt. Bite any guy's butt. Apparently, anybody but Sergeant Slaughter. I'm not going to go into that.
Yeah, that's why I ranked him lower. Sergeant Slaughter should not have.
No, he shouldn't have. This guy kicked roadblocks, but like quick,
He
and
did
a bunch
half
of
a dozen Joes.
high-ranking Joes. I'm like, and then Sergeant Clark comes in and kicks his butt. Anyway, he's freaking awesome. To me, I love him. He's one of my favorite guys. Like I said, I like the Cobra Law, and I love the G.I.Joe movie.
Well, my number 2 is Serpentor. I like sci-fi, I like the fantasy, I like the horror. He had it all. He was just a little of everything. He was like a Frankenstein's monster, like Terry mentioned. He had the DNA mixed of all the some of the greatest villains of all time. Even Ivan the Terrible.
I didn't mention him.
I think Vlad Tepes and Rasputin. So just an all-around bad guy. And like I said, if you like the sci-fi horror mix, he's got to be number 2. He has to be up there.
Well, I feel you there, Ron. He is a great character. He's in my top 10 as well. But my number 2 had to be Cobra Commander. Just for the insanity you mentioned earlier. The guy's a coward. He's got this ambition to take over the world in 5 seconds, and like Ron said, he'll blame the troops for it because he can't accept responsibility. And to me, that's what makes him a great villain.
Well, that's your opinion. I put him down lower, but
I
cool.
get you. That's fine,
cool.
and that's fine. That's cool. And like we said, this is all opinion based, But to me, I love him. I think he's a bit funny. I thought it was cool that he was turned into a snake in the movie. I thought that was cool. And like I said, I've always loved Cobra Commander. So he's my number 2.
My number 1, Destro. 2 reasons. It locks him in automatically as number 1. Number 1 guy. First reason, he's getting with Baroness. Automatically right there. That gives you a lot of points right there.
Fair point.
A lot of points. You got to give him for that. The only one getting that is Destro. Secondly, in the opening theme song for G.I. Joe the cartoon, you would have them say G.I. Joe is fighting Cobra and Destro. So they're fighting a terrorist organization and this guy. It's pretty badass. Pretty badass, I think. So I think he got his own separate name mentioned in the song. That puts him as number 1 also, along with getting Baroness on the side. Can't go wrong with that. That makes him a number 1 guy.
Hard to argue with that, Ron. So I'm going to whip out my number 1 guy, and it's Storm Shadow.
That's a real good choice. A good choice.
I have always loved Storm Shadow. When I was a little kid, I remember, mostly for nostalgia, I guess, his swords. He's a ninja, guys. He's a freaking ninja. He went toe-to-toe with Snake Eyes. Snake Eyes is like one of my favorite all-time G.I. Joe characters ever. And with Snake Eyes being like my favorite, this had to be like my favorite bad guy because it's like his bad guy, And I love him. I think he's awesome. He's just this great ninja that, if he can kick Snake Eyes, if he can go toe-to-toe with Snake Eyes, he can probably take about just about any of the other Joes.
I think a couple of times he went against Spirit, too, right?
He might have, yes. I think you're correct.
So, and this is the time of day where, in the age when this came out, this wasn't a stereotypical over-the-top Asian guy. They didn't really make, they didn't use a lot of stereotypes. He's badass.
He's just a kick-ass ninja.
Yeah.
All right, I have I have an honorable mention. I don't know if Ron does or not, but my honorable mention is going to be Globulus.
Interesting. I would have never thought about Globulus, but yeah, Burgess Meredith, I think, was the voice of him in the animated cartoon. What was the reason why you wanted the honorable mention?
Well, I just thought that he was a really, really cool villain. He was the leader of Cobra Law, and my understanding, and it was just so impressive when I was a kid to me, the way they just swooped in and took out, I think it was G.I. Joe and Cobra, right? That they infiltrated. Yeah. I mean, that's the 2 top things in the whole show, and his little organization of guys with just some little tricks got in and took them down. I thought that was pretty awesome.
Really good honorable mention. I never thought about Globulus, but that's a good one to mention.
You got any honorable mentions, right?
None I can think of. I think we uncovered all the main ones we thought, and if you guys have any you want to add, or you want to make any changes, Feel free to submit your list on there and let us see what you got.
I'm dying to see what you got, guys. Well, until next time, I'm Ron.
I'm Terry.
See you later.